opportunity of Flare networks. And this is an amazing opportunity for anyone in the crypto space. I do have quite a lot of Flare because of this exact reason, and I'm going to get into it now. We're not even going to get into what the token does or anything like that. We're just going to get into the opportunity through the new distribution proposal that was announced a few weeks ago. So I read through this proposal and I broke it down and gave it to my Patreon group on the 30th of August, and now I'm revealing it to you guys. So where did I originally come up with this idea? Well, I do some private asset management for a few people, and I've noticed this opportunity and sent an email out basically saying, would they be, what do they think? And we've bought some Flare tokens off the back of that, obviously. So this is a distribution proposal if you want to read it, flare.xyz. And the current IOU for the Flare tokens, because you can only buy IOUs at the minute because the actual token isn't out, and Flare say it's going to be out when the network reaches sufficient decentralization. What is this new distribution proposal? It was snapshotted on in December of 2020, and you get rewarded 1-to-1 Flare tokens for the XRP that you held. 15% of this will be released in the first drop, and then 2.5% thereon until the whole amount was monthly, until the whole amount was distributed to the exchange wallets or self-custody wallets if you registered through self-custody. However, this is where it's different now. Because of all the issues with exchanges, there's been a proposal to say, okay, well, 15% can go into the original exchange balance, and that 15% needs to be moved to a Flare time series oracle. I know this sounds pretty confusing, but just bear with me. A Flare time series oracle, which are basically the people that aggregate the price, and they will reward you instead. So we're not relying on the centralized exchanges. So what does this mean for us as investors, and what's the opportunity here? Well, if we buy that 15% and we buy whatever we buy from the market, we can then take that and distribute that to a time series oracle, and we will get the reward. So if we're buying anyone's IOUs now or their tokens at launch, we can then take that and stake it essentially, or you just delegate it and so it's not actually staking, but you can take that and stake it essentially. We're just going to use the word staking for the ease of this video, and you will earn their rewards. So the 15 original percent is what you'd be getting airdropped, or what you'd be buying. Basically, whatever you buy is 15% of the total amount that you're going to get over a year, 2 to 3 year period, 2.5% a month. So this works out at, if you bought, I know it's really hard to explain, but if you bought this is why I think there's such an opportunity, because people don't understand it because it's kind of complex to even work out. If you bought $20,000 of Flare IOUs at 50 cents, you'll get 40,000 Flare tokens. When you then delegate that to the FTSO, you'd actually receive a reward of 6,666 Flare per month. Because what you're getting is 2.5% of the total supply that you're owed from the original percentage. So what you've actually bought is only 15% of the supply that you're owed, or that the other person's owed, whose basically delegation contract that you've bought is essentially the easiest way to explain it. So 2.5% of 266,000, which would be the total, as 40,000 is 15%, will give you 6,600 Flare per month. It'll give you 266,000 Flare overall. So at the end of the 3 years, you would have 266,000 Flare, 0.666, and if you times that by whatever the price is, so at the minute it'd be 0.55, it'd be $146,000. So let's break down the maths of this opportunity. You're going to get 40,000 Flare tokens for $20,000 if you get in at an average price of 50 cents. If the price of Flare networks stays at 50 cents flat for the whole time of distribution, let's say we get the whole end of the distribution period, you'll actually end up with 266,000 Flare tokens. So easy maths, you just divide that by 2 or times it by 0.5, 266,000 times 0.5, it's going to give you $133,000 from a $20,000 investment. This is the opportunity here. However, let's think the price could go up, the price could go down, but the top price for the Flare IOUs so far has been $2.25. So now let's do that math times by $2.25, 266,000 Flare tokens times 2.25. It's $600,000 from a $20,000 investment over a 3-year period. That is the opportunity that we've got here. And that is not including extra benefits where if we delegate to the right FTSOs, we're going to earn probably like 4 to 6% APY. And the network itself has an incentive program that 10% of their total supply will be airdropped in the first month to people who participate on the network. So there's an opportunity here to get a crap load of Flare tokens and then earn a crap load more through the delegation period. You could be looking very realistically and very possibly at $600,000 from a $20,000 investment if the price were to move up. So the variables we've got here are obviously price action. Will the network be successful? I don't know. Will the price increase or decrease? I don't know. Obviously, it's there'll be Flare will be being drip fed into the market every month, so that's an inflationary pressure, meaning the price should potentially come down. However, as the network gets incentivized and it gains adoption, we've seen lots of people, for like Algorand, for example, give Flare like an $8 million donation to try and help them integrate Bitcoin onto their protocol. It's basically an insurance network. The whole article's here on my Patreon if you want to go and check it out. But there's a chance here to turn $20,000 into $600,000 over 3 years if the price goes to all-time highs and stays there. So that is the opportunity here, guys. I don't want to make this too much more complicated. So let's just break the maths down, guys, quickly. Last time, if you had 266,000 Flare, which would have been an original $20,000 investment at the end of the 3 years, you have 266,000. If it went all the way down to, let's say, 20 cent a token, if it went all the way down to 20 cent a token, that's times 0.2, you would actually end up with $53,000. So you'd still, that's like a 1 point whatever times your investment, 1.7-ish times your investment, 1.65-ish times your investment off the top of my head. If the token went up to 225, which is the all-time high, and it could go higher, who knows, times by 2.25, you would have $600,000. And if it stayed exactly the same price, if we managed to maintain 50 cent all the way through the whole distribution period, which is a 3-year period, you would have 266,000 Flare times 0.5, which would give you, I've clicked off it, which would give you $133,000. That is a huge opportunity here, guys. So you're looking anywhere from like a 6 to 7x all the way up to like 10, 20, 30x opportunity. That's even if we don't break all-time high. If we break all-time high, let's say Flare, let's just get a bit ridiculous here. Let's get ridiculous. Let's say it triples its all-time high. It goes to let's say $7. If you went to $7 and you had 266,000 Flare times $7, from a $20,000 investment, you would make $1.866 million. That is the opportunity there, guys. If you don't want to miss out on opportunities like this and you want to know my in-depth analysis, you need to be getting over to my Patreon, signing up. I do a weekly newsletter and I do deep dives into things like this that I think are important. It's only £10 a month now. I've got 16 Patreons at the minute. It's only £10 a month until 25 Patreons. Then it's going to go up to £15 a month. And then after that, it's going to be £20 a month. So if you get in now, you get in early. That's everything from me from this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. It's quite a hard thing to explain, and that's why I think the opportunity is so good, because a lot of people don't understand the opportunity. If you want me to break down how to do this, the whole article is in my Patreon, as I said. If you've got any questions, if you sign up to my Patreon, shoot me a message, or you can shoot me a message on Twitter. If you enjoyed this video and you think there's an opportunity there, please let me know in the comments, share it with a friend. And if you think I'm wrong, if I've done something wrong, please let me know that in the comments too. But I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. The variables that we've got we are relying on the exchanges for the IOUs at the minute. Price action obviously could vary. We could go up, we could go down in price. And this distribution needs to be voted in. But the distribution method that needs to be voted in makes sense to anyone who participates in the network, and they'll be the people voting. So I think, and so does Hugo Filion, who's the CEO of Flare, that this will get voted through. And Flare have a huge backing. Go and check them out on Twitter. Go and do some deep diving into them if you don't understand who Flare networks are. And don't miss this opportunity. At least go and do some research if you've watched this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Peace up, 8 town down, as Usher would say. I'll see you in the next one.